Greetings, folks, and welcome to a Tram toy review. I haven't done one of these for a while, and honestly, this project has been sitting on my shelf for well over 5 years. I'm looking at the Magic Jinn. It is a talking cat thing, I think. I'll be honest, I never opened this in this entire time. It's just been sitting kind of staring at me, and in the back of my mind, I was like, I should really get around to this thing. Anyway, so apparently it talks, and it tries to read your mind, but only about animals. Don't bother with asking it anything else. It won't know what you're talking about. It's got batteries, and there's nothing too crazy about it. Like, everything's pretty well spelled correctly, and so nothing too amusing there. It just asks you to think of an animal, and then press Jinn's nose. The Magic Jinn will guess the rest. If you outsmart him, you win. So basically, and there's a few, how you speak to him is a yes, no, I don't know, it depends. Okay, say it again or go back if you need to go back with your previous answer. Basically, this is one of those 20-question quiz type things. They're semi-popular, I guess, around the 90s, early 2000s. You'll still find them on store shelves and stuff. It's pretty basic. In fact, a big version was the Akinar. The Magic Genie that would guess what you're thinking, but had the entirety of the internet that it could refer to. This can only do animals, and we'll see if it can even do that. So I guess now would be a good time to open it up out of the package and probably put batteries in. Let's see. Like I said, hadn't cut the tape yet. Let's get this guy out of here. Oh. Helps if I cut all the tape off. It's our magic floating Jinn. Let's see. We're just gonna... We didn't even have to bother with all that fluff. Alright. And there's our Jinn. Very dusty after sitting on the shelf for so many years, but yeah. Kind of a little, does have a tail. It's a little cat rat looking thing. Doesn't actually feel too bad. Got a decent amount of weight in its own right, and like the plastic feels, decently solidly built. Granted, it is by Hasbro, so, they do have quality. That little hole for the mouth is kind of ridiculous, but, it's cheap, so what do you expect? Alright, I guess the only thing left for me to do is cut and... Okay, that is a normal screwdriver. I almost thought that was a star shape for a minute. But yeah, I'll put some batteries in it, and we'll see how this thing sounds after all these years. Alright, and we're back from putting in batteries. I have not tested the sound out yet, so hopefully this works. I wanted to get first reactions on camera, so let's see. Let's first of all, before we hit a button, let's think of an animal. Sure, we'll go with that one. So I guess we just press him on the nose, and first of all, let's focus and then see how this goes. Okay, folks, after a little bit of playing around and some fiddling with batteries to make sure I had ones that were properly charged up, which seemed to be the problem, I present to you Magic Jinn.
Hey there! Want to play? Great! I love guessing games, especially when I'm sure to win. Think of an animal. Say, okay, when you're ready.
Okay.
Super! I'm going to ask you a question. Answer yes, no, or I don't know. You can also say, it depends.
Okay.
Can this animal swim?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Does this animal have teeth?
Yes.
All right. Is this animal larger than a microwave?
Yes.
Okay. Does it mainly eat plants, grass, and fruit?
Yes.
interesting. Does this animal have hooves?
No.
Aha, I see. Is it larger than a motorcycle?
Yes.
Does it have hair or fur?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Does this animal live mainly in Africa?
No.
All right. Does it live in the forest?
Yes.
Okay. Is this animal black and white?
Yes. I think he's got it, folks.
Very interesting. That's it. I've read your mind. I bet you were thinking of a panda. So, am I right?
Yes.
Unbelievable! I'm so proud of myself. One more round.
No.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go, folks. That was Magic Jinn, and honestly, that was better than I expected in some ways. So as you can see, it asks a series of questions. It's pretty binary in that sense of like yes or no, and it goes to the list. I imagine that you can ask, or if you do fool it, you can tell it another animal. That's usually how these like 20 question style objects work. But I was really surprised. It not only picks up the audio pretty well. I mean, yes, it's only a few commands, but it does a pretty decent job of, following along. The logic's pretty good. I like the voice for it. It's actually, it's got that little magical kind of sound. Kind of reminds me of a Khajiit from Oblivion or something like that. So, all in all, this is actually more impressive than I thought in its own way. I think it should have a better memory for more objects because, honestly, just animals, you're going to run out of animals pretty darn fast, especially once it starts doing any learning. But still, interesting, solidly built. It works, kind of entertaining. Yeah, I don't know why it took me 5 years to review this thing, but you know what? Magic Jinn, at least I think I picked this up for like $5 or $6, so well worth it at that cost. I'm sure it was more than that when it first came out. So, hey folks, interjecting in here real quick. As I was editing this video, I took a look and did some research on the Magic Jinn, and I wanted to see A, if it was still being sold, and B, if there were other categories that they could potentially offer you. And sure enough, it is still being sold, and they do have different categories such as food and that sort of thing in a couple different languages, which is kind of awesome. What's not so awesome is the price, brand new in box, is like $24. Now I got mine for around $5 at the Goodwill, being old and used, and there's quite a few of them, so I can imagine a lot of other people were in the same boat thinking 25 is a lot for a trivia type game like this, particularly considering the time frame we're in, where we have access to smart devices of all sorts that can basically play the same game, but with like the entire access to the internet, which means you have a lot more categories. For example, the Echo Dot actually has a 20 questions game on there. So let's give that a shot real quick and kind of see the difference. They have, again, several categories, and you'll see that as we try this out. Alexa, let's play 20 questions.
Welcome to 20 questions. You have a game in progress. Would you like to continue?
No, new game.
Okay, starting a new game. Is it music related, an animal, a vegetable, or something else?
Animal.
Does it come in many varieties?
Maybe.
Is it smaller than a loaf of bread?
No.
Can you hold it?
Sometimes.
Is it colorful?
No.
Is it a purebred dog?
No.
Can it swim?
Maybe.
Will it eat almost anything?
Yes.
Can it run fast?
Maybe.
Does it eat fish?
I don't know.
Does it stand on two legs?
No.
Does it swim?
I don't know.
Does it live in groups?
Yes.
Does it have claws?
No.
Is it something you can purchase?
Yes.
Does it have a large nose?
Maybe?
Does it bite?
Maybe?
Can you control it?
Yes.
Is it commonly used?
Yes.
I guess that it is a pot-bellied pig.
No.
Do you clean it regularly?
No?
I guess that it is a lamb.
Close.
Is it furry?
Yes.
Is it fluffy?
Sometimes?
Does it have a long tail?
No.
I guess that it is a llama.
No.
I guess that it is an alpaca.
No.
You won. Would you like to play a new game?
No.
Thanks for playing. Goodbye.
Okay, so I was trying to go for a goat there. I mean, I guess lamb, sheep, that kind of works. I'm kind of surprised sometimes it usually asks for hooves or something like that, because it's definitely guessed goat before. So that's the other thing, is it kind of randomizes, and your chances of winning or losing do kind of change. And again, some of my answers were vague. I couldn't remember for the life of me. If goats aren't really known for swimming a whole lot, so... Anyway, like I said, sheep was pretty darn close. I was kind of surprised it didn't go for goat right after that, but... That's kind of the point, is you have these smart devices that you can play with a wide variety of categories. Not to mention the processing time has definitely increased over the years, as you can tell. Like, there's long delays with the Magic Jinn trying to answer for, your basic questions, whereas the Echo Dot is just like, question, question, question. So yeah, that's just the add-on I wanted there. I still think it's kind of a cool design. And was fun for what it is. And I mean, definitely kids can play around with this and not break it too easy. Like, I went at it with a screwdriver, as you'll see a little bit later, as I kind of opened it up and wanted to see the insides. But yeah, it still kind of came back together, didn't fall apart too easily whatsoever. So, I mean, it's a solid object, just not really worth, $25. And I don't see that going down anytime soon as far as a new object. So if you find one in the wild and it's cheap enough, maybe pick it up. Otherwise, you got some options out there. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and I hope you have a fantastic evening. So, I am going to be doing some less than magical surgery on our boy here, and hopefully I don't destroy him. That should be pretty good, though. So yeah, I'm going to do a deconstruction of the Magic Jinn. Sorry, buddy. Alrighty, that took a little bit of doing, but let's take a look here. I haven't fully pulled this apart. What looks like I was struggling with there's this bar here, and if you look, there's a little bit of glue here along this. So yeah, there's a couple of like seals. So even if you pulled the screws, you weren't getting this off without a little damage, but that kind of makes sense, all things considered. So we have our speaker back there, which held in with that. I imagine a little bit more super glue or something like that would just be a guess. But we have our battery pack down here. Pretty simple, wired up all over the place. And I'll be honest, I don't know my electronics well enough to like pinpoint for sure what's going on with everything, but I just figured the inside would be interesting for some. And you can see this is our board with the little black protective things over the chips. But yeah, it's a JTB CB131 VO5, I believe is what that says. And you can see that it's got the little lights there on the top. And then the nose goes through all the way through. I imagine that there is a single switch button there. I'd pull the board off, but it looks like these rubber things are holding it in. I really don't want to snap it, of course. I would like to put this back together, because overall, like I said, it was a pretty cool little toy for what it is. So yeah, but that's the internals of this guy. And hope you found that as interesting as I did. And now I'm going to reassemble him, and hopefully he still works at the end. Alright.
Hey there, buddy. Jinn. I'll read your thoughts like magic. See you soon, friends.